Black Myth Wukong is described as an action RPG with elements reminiscent of Souls-like games, although the studio does not categorize it as such. Players control a character named Destined One, based on the famous Monkey King, Sun Wukong. The combat is dynamic and involves a variety of light and heavy attacks using an iconic weapon, the Rui Jingu Bang, which can extend and shrink. Additionally, the game features a dodging and parry system, allowing players to perform defensive actions at the right moment to gain advantages during battles. The narrative promises to be rich and complex, exploring Chinese mythological themes and offering an engaging experience. The game was developed using the Unreal Engine 5, ensuring impressive graphics and support for advanced technologies like ray tracing and DLSS 3. Since its announcement, the game has attracted significant attention due to its visual aesthetics and promising gameplay. Enotria: The Last Song is an action RPG game that promises an engaging and challenging experience inspired by Italian folklore. The world of Enotria is dominated by the Canovaccio, an eternal and twisted piece that keeps everything in a state of stagnation. You, as the maskless one, must defeat the authors who created this piece and free the world using the power of Ardor. The game allows you to use masks from defeated enemies to take on their roles, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. You can switch between up to 3 customizable configurations at any time. The game offers over 120 weapons, 8 weapon classes, 45 spells, and 8 parry modifiers. Flexibility is a strong point, allowing you to change your playstyle as needed. Phantom Blade Zero is an action RPG game that combines elements of hack and slash and Souls-like, inspired by Chinese martial arts, and set in a world with a steampunk aesthetic. The game was revealed during the PlayStation Showcase in May 2023, and is considered a reimagining of a previous project called Rainblood Town of Death, developed in 2010. Players can expect a main campaign that will take between 30 to 40 hours to complete. In addition to the main story, the game will include various side missions and post-launch content, such as multiplayer dungeons and roguelike game modes. The game stands out for its unique combat system, which promises to be accessible even to those who are not fans of Souls-like games. The developers aim to eliminate common frustrations in this genre by offering visual rewards and positive feedback during battles. The first Berserker, Khazan, is a hardcore action RPG set in the universe of Dungeon Fighter Online. The game promises an intense experience, combining hack and slash elements with Souls-like and an engaging narrative. The story revolves around General Khazan, a hero who, along with Ozma, saved the Pellos Empire from the threat of the Berserk dragon Hismar and his legion. However, Khazan is falsely accused of treason and exiled after enduring brutal torture. The player takes on the role of Khazan, who seeks to regain his honor and seek revenge on his enemies while unraveling the mysteries that led to his downfall. Players will be able to improve Khazan's skills, customizing their playstyle by combining different weapons and armor. The combat promises to be brutal, with parry, defense, dodge mechanics, and varied combos. Nazralath: The Fallen World is a third-person action RPG developed by Euclidean Studios. The game stands out for its engaging narrative and dark atmosphere, inspired by works like Planescape Torment and Dark Souls. In the game, you take on the role of Orpheal, a fallen knight who awakens in a cold and ruined tomb within a Durful temple. Your memory is fragmented, and you must explore a surreal world where normalcy is fleeting. The game emphasizes exploration and dialogue, allowing player choices to shape their journey through a broken and worn world. Nazralath combines RPG elements with a strong focus on narrative and exploration. The developers promise a rich sense of atmosphere, where every decision can impact the unfolding story and the relationships you form along the way. Daba, Land of Water Scar is a new action RPG developed by Dark Star, known for their work on Sinner: Sacrifice for Redemption. The game tells the story of a humanoid clay doll living in a world on the brink of collapse. The protagonist has the ability to track water fragments in an ancient city, crucial in an environment where water is scarce. Throughout the journey, the player will face enemies and uncover more about the world's history and themselves. The game promises to offer a rich gameplay experience, with various landscapes including abandoned ruins, a magnificent ancient city, dark prisons, a vast valley, and a floating city. The game levels are described as non-linear, interconnected, and intricate, allowing for deep and varied exploration. LuoYang is set in a turbulent period of China's history during the Zetian dynasty. The narrative takes place in the ancient capital LuoYang, known for its rich history and cultural symbolism. Players take on the role of an agent from a mysterious intelligence agency called the Qianming Department. Your mission is to investigate a sect called the Longevity Sect, linked to rumors of resurrections and demonic activities in the city. Players will need to collect clues and investigate the sect while uncovering the truth behind the demonic crisis threatening LuoYang's peace. The game promises a blend of mystery and action elements, with a strong focus on narrative and environmental exploration. LuoYang seems to be an engaging experience that combines history, mythology, and mystery, offering players the opportunity to explore one of China's oldest and culturally significant cities. If you enjoy games that mix historical elements with intriguing narratives, this title may be a great addition to your gaming list. Ballad of Antara is a new dark fantasy action RPG. The game is set to be released in 2025 and will be free to play, initially available for PlayStation 5, with plans for release on other platforms as well. The game takes place in a dimension called Para, where players embark on a dangerous journey. The main mission involves seeking the truth in the shadows and recovering the distorted essences of the world. Players will be able to explore meticulously crafted environments, each with its own intricate level design, full of surprises and challenges. In addition to a compelling single-player narrative, Ballad of Antara will also support up to 3 players in cooperative mode. This will allow players to join forces to face the challenges of the world, including story missions, exploration, and complex dungeons. The game promises a rich experience with varied biomes, unique stories, and distinct enemies. Where Winds Meet is an open-world action RPG developed by the Chinese studio Everstone in collaboration with NetEase Games. The game was announced during Gamescom 2022 and quickly caught attention for its visual and gameplay similarities to Ghost of Tsushima, but with unique elements that set it apart, such as the presence of monsters and a setting in ancient China, specifically during the Song Dynasty. The game promises a rich and diverse experience, allowing players to choose specialties like doctor or merchant. The combat system is described as fast and precise, with various combat schools where players can learn new techniques. Players will have access to mystical abilities like Qinggong, which allows for cliff scaling and rapid water surface traversal. It will also be possible to learn special moves by observing animals, adding a layer of strategy to combat.
Never know you are a monster.
WUCHANG Fallen Feathers is set in the final years of the Ming Dynasty, a turbulent period in China's history, and promises an exploration and combat-rich experience. The story revolves around WUCHANG, a skilled pirate suffering from amnesia and affected by a mysterious disease called feathering, which causes feathers to grow on her body. The game takes place in the land of Shu, a place devastated by wars between factions and monstrous creatures generated by the disease. Players will explore forgotten temples and vegetation-covered ruins while trying to unravel the mysteries of WUCHANG's past. The combat is dynamic and challenging, inspired by games like Bloodborne and Sekiro. Players will face both humans and monsters, and the gameplay promises to be intense, with an emphasis on combat skills and exploration. The game is being developed in Unreal Engine 5, allowing for impressive graphics and a rich atmosphere that captures the beauty of Imperial China. Visual details are one of the game's strengths, promising an immersive experience for players. AI Limit is set in a post-apocalyptic science fiction scenario. The plot involves the struggle for survival in a hostile environment where players must explore a vast world full of secrets and challenges. AI Limit features a dynamic combat system where the character can use different weapons and abilities depending on the chosen equipment. Additionally, she has a transformation mechanism in her right hand, allowing her to cast spells and perform various attacks. The game promises an exploration-rich experience, with hidden weapons and armor in strategic locations, and an environment that invites players to discover the mysteries of a lost civilization. The game is described as a cel-shaded action RPG, with influences from titles like Elden Ring and Lords of the Fallen, promising engaging and challenging gameplay. The aesthetic and world design are intended to create an immersive atmosphere where players can get lost in a rich and twist-filled narrative. The Relic First Guardian is set in a world called Arsiltis, which was devastated by the destruction of a great relic, resulting in a land dominated by death and emptiness. Players take on the role of the last Guardian, whose mission is to gather the pieces of the great relic and seal the void threatening the world. The Relic offers rich and engaging gameplay, with an innovative combat system. Players can choose from 5 different types of weapons, each with unique abilities that can be adapted to the player's playstyle. The game also features a semi-open world, allowing for free exploration and the collection of items and artifacts that aid in the character's evolution. The game is classified as a soulslike, meaning it incorporates challenging elements typical of this genre, such as intense combat and gameplay mechanics that require skill and strategy. The atmosphere is dark and full of mythology, promising an immersive experience for players who appreciate deep narratives and detailed worlds.